If I was to ask you what tool in your garage is the most important for building your project car, whether it be a hot rod, muscle car, it doesn't matter. You're probably immediately gonna look towards your welder. Whether it's a BuzzBox, MIG welder, or a TIG welder, these things make or break your project. It takes time and a little bit of know-how to be able to learn how to make one of anything, whether it's an engine mount or a patch panel. You need to take some time to learn how to weld. It's 2025, and I'm not saying these aren't important. Lord knows they are, but you're probably sleeping on, if not something more important or more beneficial for your garage, something equally as important as a welder. And when you think 3D printer, you probably are like me, or at least I was over a year ago. I look back to when I was in college, remember looking at the rapid prototypers that they had of the time. They were pretty impressive, but they made kind of shitty products. The best thing you might be making is something out of ABS, which isn't bad, but that was the best. And if you were a consumer, you were buying these things that were made out of cardboard. A little better than glued together particle board. You spend more time making the damn thing work than you did using it to make anything. But you probably think about these when I mention 3D printers. Little plastic PLA, not good for anything, right? Something you give to your kid, your grandkid, I don't know, sell on Etsy. But I'm telling you, things have changed dramatically. Over the past 3 years, companies like Bamboo and Prusa, and I'm going to focus on Bamboo because this is what I've used, and it's like an iPhone. You pick it up, and it just works. You don't have to sit there and fiddle with the damn thing. You don't have to put it together. It comes in a box. You take it out of the box. You put it on the counter. You turn it on. You sync your phone to it and your computer to it, and bingo! It just works. In the past year of me using this, I've banked almost 4,000 hours of production on parts that I sell on eBay, the stuff that I sell on my website, whether it's port block-offs to these things, an airbox adapter, because my Supra originally had this thing, a little 74 millimeter throttle body and air fuel or mass airflow sensor that did nothing for my current supercharged setup. Instead, now it's running a 92 millimeter throttle body off of an LS. It's got this massive airbox, so I don't have to run a hot air intake because no one makes anything for it. But I was able to design it. It took some prototyping and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mess ups. I got this. It's made out of carbon fiber reinforced nylon. It's good up to 360 degrees Fahrenheit before deformation. I say Fahrenheit because anything but the metric system, guys. This has a build volume written in metric, and I have to constantly convert that using my phone to what inches. So it's like 10 inches something. Whatever. But this, it's strong. I have a video of me throwing one across the room, hitting it with a hammer. It won't even start to deform into 300. If your engine's at 360 degrees, boy, you got other problems. I made this. It's a little enclosure to run an adapter on an Atlas 4200. I was able to rapid prototype it down to this, and instead of using a Porsche thermostat, I was able to get it down to running an LS thermostat. It was cheaper, it was more inexpensive than running a Porsche one, and once I was done, I was able to have these machined out. These things went so quick. The 5 that I had machined from my buddy, which include both sides. So the Intech, they sold so quickly. I ended up selling the one I had made for myself. So hopefully we'll get more batches of those soon. You have an intercooler, and it doesn't go to the car. You have to make brackets for it. You're bending steel. Maybe you have it made out of. If you're really affluential, you can have a CNC company make one out for you. Or this is what was inside the Supra 2 years ago. And over the past year, one of the things I've been trying to do is design parts to make the engine swap I did in the Supra look more factory. And then this weighs 5 times as much as these. Again, made out of carbon fiber reinforced nylon. I no longer have to have this ugly thing. And I was kind of constrained to where I could put things. These, I was able to put it exactly where I wanted it, so I could even still use the factory overflow tank instead of that crappy Mishimoto. And just a couple more examples. You can make yourself some little transmission output shaft block off little plugs. So when you put in your transmission, it doesn't leak everywhere. This is a little clip. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's my mud flap clip. No one sells these. Toyota hasn't made them in over 20 years. If they do pop up used on the internet, it's rare because they all break. Heck, I didn't have mud flaps on my Supra for a long time because I didn't have these. I was able to backwards engineer them and get them out. They're a little different. I've made improvements because I didn't really like how the old ones were, but I've sold these from Vermont to California to different countries in Europe. So, pretty much in short, my goal here today is to let you know that 3D printing has changed. Over the past 3 years, it has made significant improvements, making it more obtainable for us builders to build things. I know there's like this whole maker world around this, but if you're looking to be able to make things, now is the time to do it. This right here, when I bought it, was $1,500. I paid for that and 2 of these at, I want to say like $900 each. You could buy them, I think it's $900 for one of these and $300 something for these down there. And the P1Ss, as long as you buy the enclosed versions of either the X1C or the P1Ss, I know they're being replaced by the P2S and whatever, but these are currently available and they're significantly reduced in cost. So time is now. You can pick up these P1Ss. They work almost as well as the X1 Carbon. I find the X1 Carbon has a little bit better finish when you get into the really high-end stuff. Like, this was made on the P1S. This is this year's, and I know we're not going to learn how to do these things, but listen, one day I was like, I want to make a crazy cactus. I don't know if you can see it, but these things, it doesn't even look like it was 3D printed. I remember when 3D printed stuff looked like dog dookie. But yeah, you want a crazy cactus, you can LunarOutlaw.com, pick up a crazy cactus for your Christmas tree or the desktop version. It all started actually because of this, the Carb Buddy. I got tired of, the carburetor getting dirty, having to find a rag that wasn't dirty to put over the carburetor while I was working on stuff and take the air cleaner off. You're exposing it, whether you're a dirt track racer or something like that, you're exposing it to stuff. So I had an idea and I didn't know how to make this. 3D printers were a joke. PLA. So this one's made out of a type of ABS. For the longest time, they were made out of PETG. Some of them still are. As we go through the inventory, we're heading over to the 2.0s. These are carbon or glass fiber reinforced ABS. PETG and ABS are gasoline, resistant, as opposed to PLA, which will break down with gasoline. That was one of my big concerns: temperature and gasoline. But yeah, all because of this, I was like, how can I make this in my house? Because an injection mold will cost 30 grand and probably be about 100 grand into everything when it's all said and done. I was able to do, I don't know, it took me like 9 prototypes to get it right. So it fit, your thermobag, your thermoquad, quadrojet, thermobag, Holly, Edelbrock. So you could rapid prototype things all day long. You can do this, I promise you. It takes less skill to learn how to do this than it does how to learn how to weld. We'll walk you through how you can get your own copy. As long as you're not selling stuff, you're doing it for yourself, you can get a free copy of Fusion 360, which is a very powerful engineering tool. It is a little bit neutered for the free version, but you can do a lot with it. A lot with it. And if you're selling stuff, it's like $600-700 for it. But if you're doing it just for yourself, there's also like FreeCAD and other things. I don't know how to use those. When I went to school, we did AutoCAD and Autodesk Inventor, and I'm just native to Autodesk, so I don't know how to do the other stuff, but we'll work on how to get the proper software, how to get these things set up in your house. Recommend a nice dry location. This is where I store my engines. There's 3, 6, there's a 2 there, so there's 9 engines, and then there's a couple, no, there's another one. So this is where I like to store my engines. I like to collect engines. So this is dry. I have a dehumidifier that runs 24/7, and it keeps the filament dry. That's one thing you'll run into is if you have wet filament, your product will look like garbage. I have a filament dryer, and this can also dry filament. Dry your filament. If you have questions, if you have something you want to learn how to make, we'll go through how to use scanners so you can scan a product. That's how I actually did this. I scanned the original one and used that to make really precise measurements and kind of like a build envelope of where everything kind of went inside Autodesk Fusion. And the result, I've sold about 6 of these things. And again, you could solve a problem for someone. Make some money doing it. By the end of it, I want you to be able to feel confident that anything that's inside your car, you can replace. In fact, this is going to be the challenge. I'm trying to save up right now for a printer that can handle this material right here. And it has a bigger build volume, so I can make my throttle body adapter for the Supra. This stuff right here is PPS-CF. It's carbon fiber reinforced. Some plasticky word I can't pronounce. Sounds like aluminum when it's done. It's good to like 500 degrees Celsius. No, Fahrenheit. Anything but those metric units. Freedom units only. I don't understand how to do that. But yeah, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to make engine mounts with this. I want to see how far we can get away with printing out parts or casting things. Like I've made engine bushings. Let's figure out how far we can push this. My Supra, which has always been my test mule, will be the test mule for this. Engine mounts for it, airbox adapters. How much can we build inside that car that looks good, looks factory, but 3D printed? I don't want this gimmicky, crappy looking 3D printed stuff. Let's make good looking stuff. Let's make things like this. These sell really well on eBay. It's an adapter plate for where the Thames goes in the Supra, and 3 buttons, momentary, latching, or blanker, it says Supra. You can make this stuff in your basement or garage. So, let's get together. Let's work this out. Let's get you making your own parts so you don't have to worry about buying stuff from China. Keep your shiny side up. God bless. I got shit in my eye from that. Oh, there were still grinder bits. Oh man, my eyeball.